My name is Mark. I'm from Seattle. Moved there recently from Washington, D.C. It's really interesting that I lived in D.C. since I had lived there since 1997, yet never heard of the Monroe Institute until I moved to Seattle. So, don't know why that happened, but for whatever reason, that was my route here. I actually heard about the Institute through a psychic reading, of all things. I had gone back to have a reading with my original teacher, and as part of talking about what I wanted for my next step on the spiritual journey, she ended up mentioning things like out-of-body experiences, lucid dreaming, meditation, and then surprisingly to me said, "Oh, check out the Monroe Institute." So I said, "Well, what's the Monroe Institute?" She said, "I don't know. I've never heard of it." So I looked it up, I read Bob's books, and I was hooked, because I'd done a lot of work in a lot of communities before coming here, but I'd never quite been able to make deeper level meditation and guidance really work. I could never really quite connect with guidance. So I went to Gateway back in December and had an amazing experience. I was doing the prep work all the way up to it and thought, I don't know if I'm going to make it, but then got here and every single exercise worked wonderfully. And since then, I have just deepened that journey. I wasn't sure what to do next, but something said guidelines, and I am so happy that I took this particular course, because if I look at Gateway, the one big experience I got out of it, it was a direct, verifiable, genuine connection to my guidance. And so this course has just taken that and really solidified it, helped me to deepen that connection. This afternoon we did an exercise where at the end of the exercise, guidance in addressing me called me Tiger, and it really touched my heart because that was the word my dad always called me. And so it was after yesterday where I struggled about, is this real? Am I imagining something? And I got this message that whenever I call for parents, they're there. I may not recognize the form they're in, but they're there. And then it said Tiger. So I can't recommend this course enough. I think it's a fantastic way to get you in touch with that inner piece of guidance, whatever form it takes, whether it's, the voice, the image, the little knowings. Part of what I've learned myself is when I hear something coming through and I think, oh, this is just a smart part of me. Well, yeah, it is a smart part of me. It's the rest of me. So that for the rest of my life, instead of approaching the world with this much of me, I approach the world with all of me. So that I can continue to be calm. If I have an experience where I'm frustrated with something, I can check in and get a sense of why am I frustrated, and get the rest of that information that helps me then process it and make better decisions as a result. So I love the Monroe Institute. I don't know where it's headed in the future, but I am so happy to have my chance to be part of it and to share the journey with everybody else. Here, people are focused on the work. The teachers aren't even seen as these revered teachers of amazing things. They're just there to help you guide your own experience. If someone asks a question and says, well, was this the right thing to happen? And they'll say back, I don't know, was it? And so they work to help you discover and get the most out of your own experience. And it's the best thing I've ever encountered. I think Frank DeMarco was saying yesterday that at the funeral of Bob Monroe, he thinks in 100 years, everyone will know Bob Monroe's name. It'll just be understood. And I would not be surprised.